Well, look who's back with a little bit of mojo. Sebastian Vettel and his driving partner Lance Stroll appears to mean business. Here's everything that we learned from Aston Martin in 2021. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of this special here at GPFans, just a reminder to hit the subscribe button down below to stay up to date with everything we produce here at the channel. But now, here's a season review of Aston Martin in 2021. Now, it's fair to say that Aston Martin endured a difficult season after rebranding from Racing Point in a year where expectations were initially high. After a brilliant 2020 season that was only tarnished by a points deduction for design infringements, Aston Martin was unable to build on its race-winning success as it slid down the order despite flashes of brilliance. 2021 was a year that promised so much, but there were plenty of things that got in the way of the British constructor. Firstly, aerodynamic changes hit hard. Two teams appeared to be affected more than any others by the late decision to reduce rear downforce on the cars carried from 2020 to 2021, both Mercedes and Aston Martin. These teams used a low-rake aerodynamic concept to develop downforce, with Mercedes overcoming the issue midway through the year. However, Aston Martin struggled to get on top of the difficulties, and the team even touted potential legal action at one stage. Such was the dramatic effect on the AMR21's performance. The changes dropped Aston Martin from the fight for third in the previous season to a lonely 7th in the constructors' standings. Sebastian Vettel refinding his mojo. It wasn't a vintage year by any means for the four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel, yet the improvement upon a dour final season at Ferrari was certainly promising. Questions had been asked as to whether Vettel still had it in him to compete given his drop-off with the Scuderia, yet a podium in Azerbaijan and a second in Hungary, which was ultimately taken away with a disqualification, proved that his class still remains. The biggest plus for Aston Martin is the title-winning experience Vettel has brought to the team, with his knowledge and asset that could help the team build towards a front-running outfit. History repeating itself for Lance Stroll. On the face of it, Lance Stroll scored fewer points than Vettel, but if you dig a little deeper, actually, the Canadian outperformed Vettel in the head-to-head battle, finishing ahead of his teammate on 12 occasions last season. Everyone in Formula 1 knows by now that Stroll has raw talent that has taken him to the podium previously, whilst his car control in the wet took him to a pole position in 2020. But, as with every season so far for Stroll, crippling inconsistency masks his full potential. His race in Azerbaijan may have been halted by a tyre failure, but he was already on the back foot after a qualifying crash. If that final piece of the puzzle can stick, a very handy driver in Formula 1 is waiting for Aston Martin to capitalise on. This team means business. The construction of the team's new Silverstone facility finally began last year, with the new state-of-the-art buildings suggested to be the most advanced that Formula 1 has ever seen. That money, combined with the signing of Vettel for last year and the consistent hiring of new personnel such as Dan Fallows from Red Bull, and instigating the Formula 1 return of former McLaren team principal Martin Whitmarsh, prove owner Lance Stroll is not associated purely as a hobby. No, this team is aiming for the very top of Formula 1 and has set a target of the middle of the current decade to compete. What 2021 provided was a foundation for the team. The journey is only just beginning for Aston Martin. Inconsistency is still a thorn in their side. We've already touched upon Stroll's inconsistency between races, but perhaps more alarming is 2021 marked the second season where a performance drop-off from race to race seemingly confused the entire team. Take Williams, for example, that know that any heavy gusts of wind would cost the FW43B lap time. With Aston Martin, There were unexplained difficulties at circuits the team expected to challenge the midfield at, and when issues are discovered, more often than not, solutions differed from track to track. This must be improved ahead of the new season, where opportunities should arise to bag points in big chunks.